Good morning. Thanks for joining the Daily Rundown. I'm Kara Rucker. Top stories we're following. A local TV news reporter has been shot and killed while at the scene of an earlier homicide. Russia is expanding its nuclear arsenal as the war closes in on 1 year, and a mysterious sphere washes ashore. But we begin with a winter storm that is stretching from coast to coast. Blizzards and ice storms are to blame for major disruptions across the U.S. This is Straight Arrow News, unbiased, straight facts.
We are on our way back to Nashville, Tennessee from Denver, and our flight was originally supposed to leave at around 7 o'clock, and we got a text message after arriving here early that our flight was going to be delayed about an hour and a half, now leaving sometime around 9 o'clock.
More than 8,000 flights were canceled or delayed yesterday as a late winter storm began to threaten travel conditions. Schools are closed, major highways from Arizona up to Wyoming are closed, some drivers trapped in the bad weather. More than 500,000 people in Michigan had their power go out after trees and power lines toppled and snapped in an ice storm. Heavy snow, freezing rain, bitter cold Arctic air, all posing dangers to millions of Americans today as the storm is expected to continue across the upper Midwest as it sweeps toward the east. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has arrived in Ohio, touring the site of a toxic train derailment that has disrupted the lives of East Palestine residents. The visit comes 20 days after the 150-car train derailed, causing toxic chemicals to spill into the air and water. Buttigieg is currently meeting with officials from the National Transportation Safety Board and the Environmental Protection Agency that is overseeing the contamination cleanup. The EPA says they are moving from the emergency phase of the response to the longer-term recovery phase. The Secretary of Transportation announced earlier this week a list of reforms meant to improve rail safety in the U.S.
So we have the 20-year-old female who was shot and killed this morning has died. We have one of the news media personnel has died, and now the 9-year-old child has also passed from the gunshot wounds as well.
A local TV news reporter and a 9-year-old girl are among 3 people killed and 2 others wounded in shootings in Orlando, Florida. On Wednesday morning, a woman in her 20s was shot and killed. Later that afternoon, as a news crew was on the scene reporting on the homicide, Spectrum News 13 reporter Dylan Lyons was shot and killed, and a photographer was critically injured, according to the news station. At another scene, a 9-year-old child was shot and killed, and her mother was also shot. The deadly rampage ended after law enforcement arrested and charged 19-year-old Keith Melvin Moses. The Orange County Sheriff said Moses has a lengthy criminal record that includes gun charges and charges for aggravated battery and assault with a deadly weapon, burglary, and grand theft. One day before the first anniversary of the war in Ukraine, Russia's President Vladimir Putin is vowing to boost Russia's nuclear forces. The announcement of expanding its nuclear arsenal comes just 2 days after Putin announced a suspension of a nuclear arms control treaty between Russia and the U.S. Putin's plan is to boost nuclear missiles on land, sea, and in the air. In today's address, Putin also said a weapon able to carry multiple nuclear warheads would be deployed this year. Tomorrow, Russia and China will begin joint military exercises in South Africa, where Russia has sent a warship equipped with hypersonic missiles. The war, 1 year in, is still escalating despite thousands already killed and millions displaced since the start of the war. Meanwhile, in Iran today, leaders there are acknowledging for the first time accusations that the country has enriched uranium to 84% purity, which puts the Islamic Republic closer than ever to weapons-grade material. Weapons-grade uranium is enriched up to 90%. International inspectors have warned Iran now has enough uranium to produce several nuclear bombs. But Iran insists its nuclear program is, quote, completely peaceful. The acknowledgement from Iran's Supreme National Security Council today is putting renewed pressure on the U.S. and its Western allies to address the country's nuclear capabilities, while Israel is threatening military action over Iran's nuclear program.
GSA requesting presence. Terminal 2, reference incoming envoy, flight 3444.
Subject is currently loose in the cabin, and he has tried to breach the cockpit.
An American Airlines flight going from Jacksonville, Florida to Washington, D.C. had to make an unexpected stop in Raleigh, North Carolina due to a disruptive passenger. When the plane diverted and landed, law enforcement boarded the aircraft and took the customer into custody. In scanner audio from airport police, you could hear officers say the passenger tried to breach the cockpit and the flight crew was trying to restrain the customer. According to a CNN source, the passenger was a woman who was having a panic attack. The FAA is now investigating to determine if federal charges will be filed. A giant sphere has been discovered on a beach in Japan, and local officials are baffled by it, as the mysterious object's origins remain unknown. Local police and a bomb squad were sent out to investigate the ball. By conducting X-rays on the object, they were able to at least determine that it is hollow, and officials say it's not a threat. Some are even suspecting it could just be some type of buoy, but others on the internet have deemed it as a Godzilla egg, a Dragon Ball, or something made by aliens in a faraway galaxy, none of which we can confirm nor deny. These are your top headlines on this Thursday morning. Thanks for watching the Daily Rundown with Straight Arrow News. We're on a mission to bring back trustworthy journalism by only serving you, not an agenda. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.